Amazing.
Okay, I think that's it. You wheel it over and put it down on top of that rise right there. And we'll put a couple of things on top of it. We had worked on the previous record, and then I got the call for this from their management, and they said, we want 2 of your best sounding double bass drum sets shipped to San Francisco for this band. I said, well, that's going to cost some money. And they go, well, it's for Metallica. I said, well, that's cool, but who's going to pay for it? She goes, well, just send us the bill. I said, well, this is like, you're looking at, 2 sets for, just the shipping alone is going to be like a couple $1,000s. She goes, you don't know who Metallica is. I said, well, I know they're heavy. I know they're a heavy rock band. She goes, let me give you an idea. They sold $2 million worth of T-shirts last year. So I said, well, what address do you want them sent to? So what we did is we sent 1 kit with the 224s with the matching toms, and then we sent the other kit with 222s with, and those are all ebony. Those are the black. They look like black. And he wound up liking these kicks with those toms, so that's what kind of made the cut. We moved the drums around for like a week.
The first 3 days, they were pretty much they had them on Justice, the previous album, and then after numerous times, they kept saying like, well, on Justice, the drums are over here. Over here. Bob had them over here.
Right.
So after 3 days of just going back and forth, Bob's like, okay, move the drums. So we ended up back here, because this is where they were for Justice.
Right. So it was, it was like, they spent some time getting...
I was 10 days before we hit record.
Right.
And like we constantly changing snare heads. We had over here there was a stack of old snare heads that was this high.
Wow. So the thing is, when you're putting up a set like this, your biggest tom dictates where everything else goes. So now I got to figure out how to get the 16 up in the air over here.
I was thinking, okay, it's going to be like 3 months in the trenches, it's just going to be like hardcore, And then it turned out to be like
a year,
9 months.
Yeah. And look at how good the product came out.
Oh yeah.
The fact that there was no budget and they could just do what they wanted to do and work on it until it was right.
Right.
I think that says a lot right there.
So kind of exchange it up.
So yeah, he just swapped it out on me, but
Yeah, so then now the 320s is just going to be the left, center, right. That's LCR overhead.
So this is the 320?
Yeah, it's this mic and this, we just need a 320 on that stem right there. That's the other overhead, yes.
I kind of tune it the same. The thing is, I'll get it sounding good to my ear, and then once the producer and the artist hear it in there, they may say, I want it to be higher or ringier or lower, fatter, whatever, and then I'll kind of react to what they're asking for. But sounds pretty good right there, actually.
Well, I mean, Ross, that kit just sounds
But
donkulous.
the room.
But you're saying it's not you or the kit, it's
Well,
the room?
I'm saying it's all of the above. I'm
I'm
saying it's fun to work in
Well,
here.
because you were having a little snack, and I just went through the toms and just lightly tapped them, and I went, oh my God.
Yeah.
They sound incredible.
Yeah, it's a good set of drums. Not much to do there.
Is there a little bit too much growl on the floor, Tom, the fifth floor? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
If you say so.
Well, Gunnar,
I would
tame it down a smidge.
Take a little bit out.
just
Tame
the
it a smidge.
decay a little.
It's that. There you go.
Yeah.
Done. And then how gnarly is that snare?
I got it kind of on the high side. Basically, they listened to a bunch of stuff, and that was the one that cut through. It's hard to find a drum that sounds more aggressive than that and still have the low end. The engineers, in the beginning, the engineers would tell me that these drums, and I have quite a few of these bell brass drums, that they would always record louder. So they're actually moving the VU meters more than other snares,
More transient.
if that makes sense.
No, yeah, more transient. I mean, you can hear it in the room. I can't be in the room without plugging my ears. It hurts. So, some serious transients going on in that thing. Sounds incredible. And then it excites the room.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's something about this room having all wood, the wood floors, the shape, all of it, you know.
So I never got the pleasure of working in the facility when it was still a commercial functioning studio. It was private for years and years and years. I knew it was here, but never walked in the building until now. It's kind of crazy. 26 years later after arriving in Los Angeles. So obviously the history of the room precedes itself like most studios. So I'm happy that it's still here. Holy shit. So we're here with Gunnar out there banging away like his life depended on it. We got some drum sounds. Going through some stuff, so I'll just walk you through it. All right, so. Okay, it sounds like drums in a room. Now what do we do? When I walk into a room, especially a room that I haven't worked in before, what am I thinking? Clap your hands, whistle.
Hear the
Usually-
acoustics.
Yeah, just getting a vibe of the acoustics. But then, I don't know, Mike and I are seasoned enough veterans where I can hear what the room's doing with my voice. Is the room bright? Is it dark? Is it woolly, muddy? Is there a lot of low end? Is there no low end? That's it. But I mean, usually you sort of, as an engineer, you cheat a little bit with, I don't know if it's called cheating, but you always go, hi, young assistant who works here full time, where do people put the drums? Oh, well, that's the sweet spot. Okay, let's try it.
And then when we did the record, it wasn't these panels, it was just flat plywood shellacked.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And so imagine those off the ceiling and just like 20 sheets of shellac plywood.
Right.
The room was just, but it's amazing how different Justice and Black Album is, but same room.
Same room, different engineer. So it's just insane to see this, just to be like, whoa, it's crazy, dude. And of course, all my drummer friends that I'm talking to are just like, no way! Because I've been texting them all. Dude, guess what I'm doing? It's the same kid! So, pretty iconic, man, huh?
It's one of these things where I didn't really know what this kit looked like because all the footage I had seen, he's playing in a lot of videos and there's all those documentaries, but you rarely get to step back and really see. I didn't know the kicks were different colors and it's pretty wild. It's a very seminal record. And the music you get into when you're a teenager and you're just playing it has a resonance that lasts forever. So when we were talking about this, it's like, oh, I should listen to that. I haven't listened to it in a while. I was finding myself air drumming, exact fill, so much of it's ingrained in me. And oh, I've been ripping off that fill for 20 years, but I don't think about it, there's something so lyrical about the way Lars plays on all those records, but there's a lot of like saving the crash to like after the beat and hitting it with the snare and not just on the one. And now when I sit down at this kit, it's like, it kind of makes sense.
Tom-wise, so chatting with Mike about how they did it, I don't do bottom mics on toms. A lot of the stuff that I'm recording, it's just not necessary. Maybe it is now. I don't know. But I have to admit, I'm digging the top and bottom thing. It's really cool. Tom 4 and 5 together. Isn't that nuts? Then there's the top only. It has a considerable amount of low end. It's really nuts.
Doing the bottom.
Doing the bottom.
Yeah.
I have to admit, I've never, ever done that in mine.
Are you digging it? You're like,
I am digging it, and I'm trying to talk myself out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't hit it. Sounds so good. It's just insane. What is it about this kit?
Because I'm just so used to like, there's something here, and I.
All right.
So one more rack, you're like, okay, so I guess the fill can be 2 extra beats longer.
Yeah.
With this, it's like, where do you
start?
That's why the phrasing is so cool on the Black Album. It's so musical and yeah.
It's just a lot of fun as an engineer when you can say like, oh, you hear that room sound going on? Yeah, that's no reverb. That's just the room. That's the drummer doing his thing. That's just the temperature of the day. You know, it's just really inspiring. Mike was telling me that was done on the record was 2 pairs of XY mics wide. So one is on the hi-hat side of the kit and the other one is on the floor tom side of the kit. And so they're XY and I'm just painting them hard left and right in the mix. And they do kind of a thing when it does a thing when you add it up within the
it's like
stereo mix
a stereo
itself.
left, a stereo right.
So here's the hi-hat side, XY. And mind you, they're the 320s and they're panned hard left and right. A lot of low end. So no compression, but just, which is kind of knuck and futz. There's no compression, but I'm taking 3K to get rid of the harshness of the cymbals out of that.
But it's exciting that places like this can still exist, and hopefully it keeps going, because, you know, the drums sound great on their own, but yeah, the second we were like going between the different room mics, and it's just like, oh my gosh, it's just so exciting. And there's so much like low end, and it's fun where, you know, a bunch of us have been hopping on the kit, and you go stand in that corner and then that corner. It just, yeah, it's wild. It's really cool that it still exists in some form, you know, and that these drums still exist. The fact that these drums are playable and not in a museum, like that's what instruments are for.
Yeah, and the kit is, you know, that's the source.
That's the source.
You know, those toms, that's how they sound. They sound great. They're deep, full, but the top and bottom.
They're cheating a little bit too. They had tape.
Yeah.
And they had
Yeah,
good tape.
good shedding tape
Where did the machines live, by the way?
in that room.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay, so that was the machine room.
yeah, two 800s, Mark
800s.
IIIs, and
Okay.
then a pair of 2 tracks, you know, 820s, the two track,
Oh,
the half-inch 2-track.
got it.
And we tracked the AGFA 469,
Oh, you're not kidding. Yeah, that was
which had a lot of air. You know, it wasn't like, it was a lot
That was Shred Central.
shred central, but it had a nice top end.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been thinking Lars is awesome for my whole life, so I already knew it was awesome for him to be able to play a kit that big. So to do it, it's like, I appreciate it because
Yeah.
it's f***ing hard.